Hey, I'm Jeff here with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is Walter Blake Knoblock, WBK. How are you doing, man?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. We just finally got Christmas and New Year's out of the way. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, just in case somebody don't know who you are? Tell them, where you live, what you do, and all that. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Blake. I am a digital entrepreneur, I guess. I'm up here in Michigan. Pretty cold up here. And I guess the things I do to make money is I have a resale business. I do YouTube stuff. I was on a TV show last fall, or I don't know. I guess it aired. It was 2020. It aired, I think, in the August of that year. So I just do a whole bunch of stuff, but it all pertains to making money, and that really is what interests me is, different ways to make money and how people can do it from home and do it on their own terms.
Yeah, for sure. So you were on the TV show A&E Extreme Unboxing, is that correct?
Yeah, yep. We filmed that in 2019, and then I believe it aired August 2020, August 4th, 2020, if it seems like the past year has been a blur, so I'm pretty sure that's right, though. And then I find out in the next few months if we're going to have a season 2 or if it was just a fun, a little one-off thing that happens and I can tell stories about.
Okay, cool. Do you have any stories? I'm just curious, how do they go about reaching out to you? Do they just send you an email was like, hey, we're A&E. We want you to come on our TV show. Like, how did that work? Like, how did that happen?
So the way that it would work in this specific instance, and I've been reached out to by production companies before over the years, but nothing ever really came of it because how this whole world works is you're going to have your individual production companies who are kind of like subcontractors, if you're familiar with that, who pitch the shows, and then they take the pitch show, the concept, whatever it is, to the network. And so I got reached out to by, I forget the name of the company. It was some company who makes TV shows for A&E, but just like a different business entity for tax and business purposes, I guess. And they said, hey, we're trying to cast for the show. We saw some of your videos about pallets because at the time I had a few videos about, I forget who I bought them from. It was, I think it was a guy I know in the Facebook group that I run, has a pallet liquidation business. I think I bought 3 or 4 from him. And so I was just doing a live stream going through all of those, and it had a pretty decent YouTube presence. And that's how they found me. And I said, sure, because I have this building here that I work out of and, space to store 25 or 50 pallets. And that was, it worked out for for what they were trying to do. And it was all before. Yeah. So, we ended up finishing up filming like a month before all the lockdown started and everything. So, it was 2019 to early 2020 when we were filming, and it was just, I guess it all happened in about 4 or 5 months between me being contacted and the final, day of filming in early January.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I had Joe on last year with Family Flips. I think he was on the show as well. I don't know if you know him.
Joe and what's his wife's name? I forget. But they were totally on the show. They're down in Missouri.
Yeah. So, Walter, I wanted to ask you some questions. How long have you been reselling now, and what were you doing before you became like a full-time reseller?
I have been reselling since I was, 5 years old. Since I was very, very young, I was always figuring out ways to get things and get more money for them after I got them. I've really only had one corporate job, I guess, in my life. But I don't even say now I'm a full-time reseller because what does that even mean? What does full-time mean? I don't work 40 hours a week doing this. Certainly it provides for my lifestyle, and it's been doing that for, I don't know, 10 years probably. I'd say 10 years I got out of college about 10 years ago, little less than that. And so, but even through that, I paid for college by selling stuff. So I think it's just been part of my life, part of my DNA since I was a little kid. There was never for a lot of people that have here was the day I quit my job and I was a full-time reseller. And for me, it was always just well, I got to make, X amount of dollars this month. Let's make that money. And that just kind of, build up upon itself and got larger and larger and snowballed. And then here I am now.
Okay, awesome. So, So Blake, how was your Christmas and New Year's? Everything went well for your business?
Yeah, this was a great year for a lot of resellers, bad year for a lot of brick and mortar stores, but good year for online resellers or online, anybody who has online sales channels that are really, really well, it seems like. I shut down my store on December 19th this year, which is earlier than I usually do because I was going to Philadelphia. And I just thought to myself, there's no way that any of these things that sell on December 22nd are going to get there in time for Christmas or 21st. And I don't want to deal with all of at the time, the only things I was selling was retail arbitrage stuff. So it wasn't like I shut down my FBA inventory. I shut down my FBM inventory and my eBay inventory, the limited amount that I have. And so I have avoided most of the shitty customers that I, pop up. Just today, I had to send out 5 refunds for people who they were getting into like filing A to Z claim territory. I just don't want to deal with that on Amazon. So if I have to give you $15 to shut you up, then I'll do that. So I didn't escape it with no battle wounds, but certainly it could have been a lot worse holiday season resale wise for me. And then personally, I was in Philadelphia with my girlfriend's family, with her mom. Saw them down there. She hadn't seen them in a long time, so it was good to visit her family. And then we came back here just in time for a nice Michigan snowstorm that we had around the first of the year. How about you?
Yeah, it went by pretty quick. I mainly sell on eBay. I know you sell a lot on Amazon, but yeah, it went by pretty quick. I took like one day off, went by and visited my family for Christmas, and went back to work. So,
Yeah.
so Walter, what is your background before you became a reseller? Before you left the corporate world, you worked for like search engine optimization, things like that, correct?
Well, that was just my own. I had my own freelance business. It wasn't even working for anybody. So the one basically, I mean, it's a pretty convoluted story, and I don't want to get into all of it. But I guess in regards to that train of income, so it started off that in college, one of the ways I made money was I wrote for websites. I would write articles, whatever I could, and I got paid as a copywriter. That segued into in 2012 or 13, I published a book called The Great Lakes Book Project that was a collection of essays by authors around Michigan. And I did a Kickstarter for that, and I sold a decent amount of copies of that book. I didn't make a lot of money, but I made like 10, I guess. And at the time when I was 22 years old or whatever, 10 grand was a whole bunch of money for me. And so I was like, oh crap, this is awesome. In retrospect, it was a terrible ROI, investment. It took me 9 months to make $10,000, which is not, working hard and thinking about it all the time, which is worse than most jobs. And so in retrospect, not the best idea. But as I was marketing that book, one of the things I did is I was on NPR. And I gave a little spiel about the book, and they interviewed me. And someone in Florida, actually, where you are, heard the interview, and they wanted me to help rebrand their telecom company, which was essentially just give it the right keywords to search for the right things, and increase revenue through web traffic. And so that was my one corporate job, although technically it wasn't a job; it was a contract. So it was. I got a 1099. It wasn't even a real job, but it was going into an office every day. I didn't like it very much. But all along that whole time, I've been buying and selling stuff. And I mean, it goes back to when I was, 15 years old or even younger than that. I would find paintings and sell paintings. Or when I was even really little, I would do, lemonade stands, and I was like 5 or 6. And that's the same principles that I'm doing now, just on a much smaller scale. And so it's really just been I've been making money literally, as long as I can remember, in much smaller amounts back when I was a little kid, but still it's always been the same mentality throughout it all.
Well, the reason why I was asking is that there's a lot of people that maybe they resell part-time on the side and they have a full-time job. And I was just wanted to know kind of if you could just tell us how you went from working a full-time job in the corporate world and how you transition out of that to where you're at now. And you have a big warehouse. You said you can only hold maybe 25 pallets in your warehouse, and you're essentially a full-time reseller. You're also a YouTuber. So I was just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how your transition was from leaving the corporate world to basically being self-employed.
Yeah, I wish I had a transition, but it occurred simultaneously. I was always reselling. I had a corporate job for about a year. I didn't like it, so I stopped doing it, and then just focused on. At the time, I was private labeling vinyls. I was doing reselling. That's always like how I pay for like my rent, how I pay for all my expenses or whatever, and then my job or private labeling, whatever, is what is the money that I use to, invest or, do buy property or whatever I'm doing with it. So there never really was a transition. I would say for me, reselling came first, and then I tried to transition into corporate world and I couldn't do it. So it's kind of like the reverse. For people who are trying to do that, everyone always asks me like, when do I know if I'm ready? And I don't know, because I don't think you can be ready. I think it's always a matter of, obviously you got to worry about bills and make sure everything gets taken care of that way. But if the numbers add up financially, then it's just like a personal call if you want to transition and if you want to, go across. Obviously, like I said, you got to make sure the bills are all paid. And if you don't want to like dig yourself into like credit card debt to try and fuel your reselling dreams because you're sick of your corporate job. And I feel like that's kind of like the cathartic story a lot of people want. But for me, it was just, there's always, I've been selling on eBay. I mean, I think definitely since 2006. But I think even before that, I was using like my mom's account on eBay, and I've always been doing that, just, finding out ways to make a buck. I wish there was a better story.
It's okay. So I'm going to catch people in the chat. We got Wendy here. She says, hi. Hey, everyone. Hey, Jeff. We got Cali Reseller Lewis is here. He says, hey, Jeff and Walter. He has a question. He says, besides Amazon, he wants to know what other platforms have you sold on or are you currently selling on right now?
Currently, I'm only selling on, are we talking about, let's go over the whole gamut of things that I sell, because it isn't just physical products too, right? Like I sell ebooks, and I just started like a Fiverr listing to give resale consultation advice, and I'm working on a course through Teachable. And so like those are all things platforms I sell on. There's no shipping involved, but I'm selling on, currently Gumroad, Fiverr, in the next, I'd say probably month, I'll be on Teachable. In regards to like physical products, I will sell. I have sold through Shopify. I've sold my own store that I just wrote with HTML, and I used PayPal shopping cart. I forget even the word for it. It was just like copy and paste pre-made code onto your site to create a PayPal link to a shopping cart that they secure. I've sold using, obviously Amazon, eBay, Mercari, Etsy. I sell at local auctions. I've sold on Facebook Marketplace. I've sold on OfferUp. I've sold on Craigslist. I mean, obviously, before all this stuff, that was like my main source of income for like big flips was Craigslist. What I would used to do is like one of the biggest flips I can remember when I was like 18 years old is I bought 15 vending machines for like $1,000, and then I sold and delivered them all through Craigslist. And I mean, that's the kind of thing I would never even dream about doing now, because Craigslist is like so different than it used to be. But I think that's why people like watching my YouTube channel, because I can talk about from experience a wide range of things that interest a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure, Walter. I don't know. We didn't talk about this before the show, but can you tell the people? I follow you on Instagram. Can you tell the people how it is that you know so much about the Dollar Tree? Because I saw a photo of you on Instagram, and I believe that you were in a Dollar Tree uniform at one point in time. Was that correct, or is that like photoshopped? Tell us what happened, Walter.
That was just a funny picture of Dollar Tree people. I wasn't actually in that photo, but the reason I know about the Dollar Tree is because in March of 2019, I made a video about retail arbitrage. And my whole spiel on YouTube is I want to make my videos for people who have a hard time making money. Because I think one of the biggest issues that our generation and our country is facing is the inability for individuals to create income on their own terms, doing things that they enjoy, and just not being pushed into the whole, working for someone else that you don't like that job. And so an easy way to do that in my mind was, okay, I'll focus on Dollar Tree products because anybody can go to the Dollar Tree. They're pretty ubiquitous. They're everywhere. They're in cities. They're in more rural areas. There's a lot of Dollar Trees. And so I began making videos about selling Dollar Tree products. And I think because, I was watching your interview with Reyes the other day. I don't know if it's Reyes. I always say his name wrong.
Reyes, the entrepreneur. Yeah.
And he said the reason his content works is because anybody can do it, right? Like anybody can start doing this stuff, and that's what works for him. And kind of me to an extent is the same way, where because anyone can go to a Dollar Tree, that video really did well, and I think it actually just surpassed 1 million views a few weeks ago. And so I made a few more videos like that. I think I have like 10 total in the series. So the reason I know about Dollar Tree and the reason why I talk about it so much is because it's the kind of avenue that's in regards to like retail arbitrage that's accessible to anyone. You can have $10 in your pocket, go to Dollar Tree, and start your Amazon FBA business. And there's not a lot of things you can say that for, and like money making avenues that you can say that for.
Yeah. So Blake, how did you do with your video? You bought like 1,000 DVDs and Blu-rays from the Dollar Tree because you made that like 2 months ago. I just want to know, because I definitely liked your whole montage you did on your video. I just wanted to know, like, how did it go? Did you end up making a profit? Because I see so many people in the comment section like, this is, he's not going to make any money. This is the waste of time. And I'm just like, bro, I sell DVDs and Blu-rays every single day. So can you talk to people and tell them, did you actually make a profit buying those 1,000 Blu-rays and DVDs from the Dollar Tree or not? Go ahead and tell them, because they'll want to know.
I can look it up right now because I used Inventory Lab to list all that, and I put Dollar Tree DVDs. Okay, so I spent $1,000, and as of today, it has brought in $3,200 profit. Or sorry, revenue, gross revenue. So about $2,000 profit, but a really, really good ROI. Over 200% ROI. And I still have, it looks like I've still got, I don't know how many I have left. But first of all, I only listed about 60% of them. So 40% are still boxed up right over there. And I have to go through them once the market changes, and maybe those are going to be worth more money in a few months or few weeks. So out of the 600 I listed or whatever it was, I forget the exact numbers, that has brought in over $3,000 in money to my account. And I spent $1,000 in the whole thing. And so yes, it is extremely profitable. And I wasn't even trying to like optimize for profit. I was just trying to buy them all. And so I haven't done this yet, but what I'll start doing is just going through and just like spot scanning almost. Like, at this point, I know what kind of DVDs are going to sell for a profit on Amazon. It's going to be like the Blu-rays for sure. It's going to be like kids' cartoons and stuff like that. So I'll avoid like there's like a whole genre of Dollar Tree movies that are just like bad movies that got made in a really low budget. So I'll avoid like low budget crap movies and only buy the Blu-rays and like the cartoons. Because all of those for sure are easy double your money sales, and they're going to occur in, I'm just guessing, I guess, but I would estimate that probably, I don't know, 80% are going to sell within the first 3 months. It just really is just like, it's a great business to be in if you have the patience to go around to all these stores and buy them all and list them all. Because even though they're not going to sell for like the huge ROI that I'll see on a VCR or on, a handheld Sudoku thing or whatever it is, they're just so easy to get. They're so easy that it's hard to turn down easy money.
Right. I just wanted to make sure we put that out there because I've made videos in the past buying DVDs and Blu-rays at the Dollar Tree, and I get so many hate comments and so many thumbs down on my videos. It's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we put that out there that it is profitable because in my idea, I don't even sell on Amazon. I'm just on eBay. But I'll buy Blu-rays for $1. And the thing is, if it's 6 months later, if the items don't sell, I can go right across the street here to the pawn shop, and the pawn shop will pay me $1 for that Blu-ray. So if 6 months later, if it's still here and it hasn't sold, because the pawn shop sells them for $3, so they'll give me my $1 back all day long if it doesn't sell. So like I said, 3 months, 6 months later, if it's a dud, if the item doesn't sell on eBay, I can walk right across the street, turn in my Blu-rays, and they'll give me cash on the spot. So that's the thing. So you're doing something that has almost zero risk. And also I buy a lot of DVDs and stuff at the pawn shop for 50 cents new in the shrink wrap. So you don't have to worry about the disc being scratched up. You have very low risk because it's like, I know I'm going to be able to flip them and resell them on eBay, and you're risking 50 cents, you know? So if I can turn 50 cents into 10, 15 bucks, I do that all day long.
Well, it's like there's no, the only issue with it is you're limiting how much you're going to make back. But in terms of like risk mitigation, it's one of the things I say, like, if you can sell used media, you should sell used media, be it books or DVDs, because you can get that stuff, if you look around, for so cheap. I mean, even when I started making videos on YouTube, books at my thrift store were 15 cents a piece, right? Super, super cheap. And the prices increased over the years, but now they're 50 cents a piece. And like, yeah, some of the Goodwills are $2 a piece, but the Salvation Armies and like the no-name thrift stores in my area, they're all still super, super cheap. And so the only investment you're making as a new reseller for books, for example, is like the time you're spending to scan all those books. And that's, that's why I don't really believe people who say like that sharing information is going to make reselling more difficult, because the information's already out there and no one uses it. 95% of people who watch the videos that resellers make don't, more than that. I mean, I can tell you, I tracked the amount of people who joined my Facebook group from a link that I posted in a video I had that had 1 million views, and it's like a fraction of a percent of people actually follow through on this stuff. Because, I mean, like you just said, the math is right there. You buy it for 50 cents, you can sell it back for 50 cents. The only thing you're risking is your time. And if you're starting off a business, you got a lot of time probably.
For sure. We got a bunch of people in the chat. I don't want to ignore them. Clay's Closet says, wow, good job getting Walter on. He's big. He's so nice and helpful. I've watched him for tips and tricks, and he always responds and answers all of my questions. Joey Bada Bing says, let's go. We got Cali Reseller Lewis in the house. Hollywood Reseller says, any recommendations for good websites to source online pallets and cases? You just made a video recently about that, didn't you? Like in the past week?
Monday or Tuesday. I wrote the article on my website, and then I posted the video. So I reviewed 5, I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I reviewed 5 sourcing opportunities that I've bought from personally. And it was 888 Lots, liquidation.com, B-Stock Supply, and 2 more that I can't remember. But they're all, I made a video. So watch that video, Hollywood Reseller, because I talk about 5 of them that specialize in pallets and cases, pallets mostly.
Okay, cool. We got Clay's Closet in the house. Kelly Reseller Lewis is here. Clay's Closet says, he's asking a question to Wendy. Wendy is located in Florida, and Hollywood Reseller says, what are your thoughts on Walmart Marketplace?
I think if you have your own wholesale connections or your own private label connections, Walmart Marketplace is a great spot to go. But if you're doing like piecemeal reselling where it's like, one-offs of every SKU, the way that their marketplace is set up is not conducive to that. It's kind of a pain in the ass to upload pictures. And for a lot of the things, there's not going to be existing photos, so you got to handle the photos. And I would say that's more for, not to mention they don't want you to be doing that on there. I don't sell on Walmart currently, but I have been a seller, on the platform since 2016. I've had an account, and it's just not. It's more set up for wholesale and or any where you have like bulk products of the same SKU.
Okay, we got Simply
Amazon as your fulfillment. You have to use a dedicated 3PL that can't be Amazon because Amazon uses Amazon branded packaging when they ship things out. So there's just a whole different layer of issues that I don't want to really deal with right now.
Okay, we got Simply Dana is in the chat. Wendy, I want to ask a question. She says, what are your favorite things to resell and where do you like to source? And you want to tell people what is the item that you sell most often on your online business?
So my favorite things to sell would be, I don't know. It's all the same to me, I guess the more I have like the things that are really, really weird that I sell on eBay. Like I sold this like a few years ago, this national forest or national park sign that I got at a garage sale for $1. Just like a really random weird thing. I like selling like old memorabilia, old sports stuff, but that's just like personal interest. When it comes to like what things are the easiest to list, it's going to be like DVDs, books, and CDs and that kind of stuff. So I enjoy the actual like process of listing those the most. I get the most satisfaction out of like weird one-off stuff. And mostly where I'm sourcing is thrift stores, garage sales, and then I'll do pallets here and there. But I haven't done pallets really all year almost. I bought like 10 pallets this year, I think. So not like truckloads anymore.
Okay, cool. We got Simply Dana here. We got Hollywood Reseller. We got Reseller Niche. He says, hey, Jeff. And then Wendy says, pound the like button. Reseller Niche is here. He says, hey, Walter, I've watched your videos for a while now. I remember one that you did about Taco Bell hot sauce. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we got Chuck is here. He says, happy Friday. So, Walter, I wanted to talk to you, man, because you actually have a big warehouse now to store all your merchandise. If someone wanted to scale up and grow their business, because I know you said maybe only 5% of people that are serious about growing their business and expanding, do you have like maybe 3 tips or tricks that would help somebody grow their reselling business? Maybe they're part-time right now on eBay or Amazon and they want to scale and grow their business. You have maybe 3 tips that would help them out?
Yeah, so I would say the easiest way to scale your business up to where you can, be making enough money to afford rent on a warehouse, which I pay about like $1,300 basically, a little bit more than that for this space here. And so I think the easiest way to do that is to rely on Amazon FBA, where they store your inventory, they ship it out. And the easiest inventory to sell on Amazon FBA, or at least the most affordable, easy inventory, because obviously you can sell, like Nintendo Switches all day, but those are kind of hard to get. It's going to be books. I tell everyone, start off with used books. Figure out a way you can buy pallets of used books, or go to thrift stores, or go to library sales and scan books, and just begin sending those into Amazon until you have, between 1 to 4 or 5,000. In your Amazon inventory with a sales rank below 2 million and a profit of at least like $3 or $4. Ideally like $10, but at least $3 or $4. Because once you have that in place, you're going to have like 6 months of revenue or 4 to 6 months of revenue, probably like enough to pay for a building like this. So you can then do the other things you're doing and then kind of like double back around and do some more like retail arbitrage flips that are fast money with the money you're making off Amazon. But just having your Amazon what it all boils down to is having your Amazon snowball, because that's an automated revenue source where you're not worried about going to your garage or going to your basement and shipping out 25 orders. Someone else is doing that, and that gives you time to plan your next step. I think a lot of the people who can't see themselves transitioning to the next level, it's because they're kind of stuck in a routine. They're not giving themselves the financial and mental flexibility to plan out a move 6 months down the line. And the easiest way to do that is to keep your it's a two-part answer. Keep your expenses fixed and automate processes. So by keeping your expenses fixed by buying cheap books and just doing it that way. And then the automation aspect comes in from having your FBA store where they do all of the customer service and all that good stuff. It's a lot different than eBay in regards to the way you're going to be like looking at inventory and looking at deals and looking at customer service and all that stuff. But it takes the shipping aspect off your hands and the storage aspect of your inventory for sale off your hands. And that makes it easy to scale up, I think.
Okay, Blake. So I wanted to ask you a question. How does somebody go about growing their YouTube channel? Because you're almost at 100,000 subscribers. It just seemed like the other day you were at like 70,000. So if somebody has a small YouTube channel in the reseller niche, what recommendations would you have to help them grow their YouTube channel so they could get to the point where they're making they have 100,000 subscribers? I mean, it's not something that just happens overnight, right? It's like something you got to work towards, right?
Yeah, the reason my channel is so big is mostly because of my viral videos. Those just convert a lot of subscribers, so I'll get like 2,000 or 3,000 a month just from that video. And as long as I keep producing content on a regular basis, YouTube still shows those videos to people because they're still relevant. They still have a really great view through rate and retention rate, and so that's how I did it. I don't know if that's necessarily good advice, but so what I would say, if you want to emulate that, when you have a new channel, you have kind of an easy way to get your first like 1,000 to 5,000 subscribers. If you just go through and make like, here's 5 easy items to sell on eBay. Here's 5 ways to sell clothes. Here's 10 ways to make money using your phone. Like list type videos like that are just general reselling interest videos. But you're going to, once you do those for maybe, I don't know, 6 months or a year, you're going to kind of top out how much interest you can draw from the reselling community, because they're either going to not like you, or they're going to know who you are, or it's going to be just like things they already know. So there's that's like step one, I think, to getting from 0 to 1,000 or 5,000. Is just essentially copying other people and seeing what they've done and getting views, suggested video views from their videos, right? So like, let's say someone I like a lot is Josh Varnell, the hairy tornado guy. He's a great guy. So what he did is he would just essentially copy what popular videos were, and copy in terms of like keywords and copy in terms of like general concepts. They're not copy in like a plagiaristic sense, but just like they're imitations or they're inspired by. So what I would say is, if you want to make a bunch of money, look what he's doing, or make a bunch of subscribers, look what he's doing, and make videos based on the topics that he's doing. Because right now I don't really watch a lot of reselling content, but I know his videos get probably between, around 15 to 30,000 views, if not more, if they really hit off. And so by just piggybacking off of the waves that he's making, you can begin to grow your base up. And then, that only gets you so far, right? We'll say that gets you to 5,000. Then what you have to do is you have to begin making more random content about things that interest you, that you could see yourself really committing to for the next year or two. Like what Ray said is his big thing. He had 2 big things, if I recall correctly. T-shirt printing got him to about 50,000 subscribers, and then vending machines. And he just kind of took off pursuing these different avenues for making money. And that was really the only consistent trait, besides like his personality and his style of presentation, was they were all entrepreneurially minded. And so what he would do then is say, okay, what works? After you've got your base, and I don't do this myself because I don't really care enough to do it, but if I was really concerned about growing my channel to like, 1 million in the next year or two, I would set off and I would say, here's my 6 or my 10 sectors of content. Let's say one is panning for gold, one is garage sales, one is Dollar Tree, one is cooking cheap food. I don't know, it can be anything. You make those videos, you compare each of those videos, see what has the most views, and then you just follow the money. And so, there are a few tricks, but at the end of the day, all you're really doing is giving your audience what you have to establish by like I said earlier, copying people's and following trends. See what they want, because they're following you for a reason, and there's more people like them. So if you can, pander to them or cater to their interests, most likely you're going to be catering to the interests of a lot of people as well, who just don't know about you yet. But as your videos get more views, and as the audience retention stays up, and as they watch more videos on your channel after that video, it's going to become recommended in the YouTube browse features a lot more prevalently than it would if it was just a bunch of one-off videos that don't really have any consistency in terms of what they're related to else in your channel.
Yeah, you're basically saying that you make content that the viewers want to see, and then if you're saying if you have a viral video, not a lot of people have videos, Blake, that have 1 million views, though. So that's the thing. So to you, it's like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. I've got so many new subscribers. This video went viral, but not everybody has viral videos,
Let's say it gets 10,000, and your average video view is 800. Like, that's viral for you. It doesn't really and then it's gonna, if you keep doing it, it's gonna grow and grow more and more and more. Like the video that I had that has 1 million views, it didn't get 20,000 views for 2 months. It started off like every other of my videos on my channel, where it just got like 1,000 views the first day, and then it got 1,500 the next day, and just like slowly over time, as it interests people and as they watch more of it, it grew and grew and grew. And so all it really is just a result of not totally destroying my channel. I found something that worked, and then I stuck to general retail arbitrage keywords. And there's no doubt in my mind, if I had stopped making retail arbitrage videos, there is no way in hell that any of my Dollar Tree videos would be showing up at all. And even now, what I've had to do is like make my website, and my website directs people back to those Dollar Tree videos. Because what I was doing is I was tracking the search result on YouTube, and as my video was doing well, there was a whole, like I said, there were people copying me, making their own Dollar Tree videos, and they were taking away views from me in terms of like YouTube search. And so what I had to do is figure out other ways to get traffic there that then in turn like bolsters whatever it is. But I do think anyone can have a video like that, because when I made that, it took me an hour and a half to film and edit. It was not the kind of thing that, was like a huge ordeal. It was just right time, right place, and then running with the success you have. It's just, at that time, I think my channel had like over 250 videos on it that were all just like edited filmed videos. Not, I do a lot more live streams now because they're easier. But just, it's much like any entrepreneurial venture. You have to be patient until the time presents itself, and then attack. Take what you got.
Yeah, Blake, I was watching your video the other day, and you said that you were just stuck to that specific niche, and then YouTube considered you an authority on Dollar Tree videos. So now if someone types in Dollar Tree retail arbitrage, one of your videos are going to pop up, and they're going to send traffic your way. Is that correct?
Well, not just because of the videos, but also because of the other keyword work I've done, and because of, off YouTube stuff that points back to YouTube. Because this is just my theory, but I think if there's an article that ranks high in Google for Dollar Tree, and there's a video in that article, it's going to influence the YouTube rank for Dollar Tree. And so it's not just a matter of like, I kind of simplified it in my live stream because I didn't want to go into a whole rundown of my theories on like synergistic SEO strategies. But basically, once you're an authority, like Ray's is an authority in t-shirt printing. I'd say Rally Roots is an authority on Salvation Army t-shirt resale. I would say that that's really all I know off the top of my head. What's his name? Garage Flips. I'd say he's an authority on like the garage sale keyword. I'm sure there's a lot more, but if these people were to stop making videos in those particular niches, they would lose authority. You don't have it forever. You do get a benefit for it, but it's the kind of thing where it starts off slower and slower and slower and builds up. But then you lose it way faster than it takes to build it up. And so I would say, like what you're doing with these live streams, if I were you, I would go back and change the title of all my live streams to include certain keywords. And maybe you're already doing this. I looked through a few of them, but I didn't do any sort of analysis of it all. But include keywords for things you want to rank in, and mention that throughout the video numerous times. So if you want to do reseller interviews, or you want to do entrepreneur interviews, you want to do tips on how to make money, if you want to go to a larger audience, once you begin including that in the video and in the description, and then you say it in the video multiple times, eventually, like I saw your medical courier video has like 7,500 views. So what that might mean is you might be gaining authority in medical courier search results, which I know nothing about, but I'm just saying, like, that's the, if you, that could be considered a viral video for you because it has more than 10 times what some of the other videos do. And just like, that is the kind of stuff, like what you saw. I mean, how many videos have you made on medical courier stuff?
Maybe 5 or 10, not many, but it's, but you're saying you basically find something that's working for you and pour gas on it is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. And just like, keep in mind that it's not as, there's like levels to it, right? So just keep doing those videos, but figure out ways to slightly change it so it keeps the audience fresh. And if you really get smart, what you want to do is the ways you change it include larger audiences, right? And so, like, an example is this is not the best example, but it's something that I did. I did the video about reselling rare golf clubs, the specific set of rare golf clubs. So I had my reseller videos, and then I twisted it to be about this specific kind of product. And there's a whole golf community who loves this kind of club I sold. And so what I was able to do is get my resale audience and then get a little bit of authority in golf as well. And so now when I post videos about reviewing golf products or selling golf products or whatever it is, those get more views than my other videos because I've just found a way to like take the authority I have in resale or my subscribers or whatever, and then kind of like transpose that a little bit onto golf stuff. So it's not as simple as just like, do more of this. You have to think about it. You have to think about, okay, how can I leverage the authority I have in medical deliveries to attract people who, drive their car for a living? And so I guess it could be like, I don't know, ways to cut back on travel expenses, because I'm just spitballing here, right?
Yeah.
I guess that travel expenses and car depreciation are a big aspect of any delivery business. And so you can make a video about those aspects. And then suddenly you've got all your gig workers who are going to be interested because even though they don't really know about medical deliveries or whatever it is, they're going to know about how to cut back on expenses. And because they're, business minded, they're going to be intrigued by the other video. And so it's just like, I wouldn't say that's pouring gas in the fire, but it's certainly thinking about it's using the fuel you have in a very strategic way.
Okay, thanks, Walter. We have a question in the chat from Reseller Niche. He says, is there something you suggest that resellers avoid selling, if anything?
Water filters.
Well, I wasn't expecting him to say that. So, okay, we got a Hollywood reseller here. He says, what's your thoughts on the new eBay option to ship outside of the USA? Is it worth it?
I still do eBay global shipping. I'm going to be doing that until it's no longer an option because I don't want to deal with, customs and all that stuff. So I don't know what the new options are, but as long as what I do is on any international shipment, I just charge my buyer the cost of shipping. So there's no difference in my mind, if shipping is more expensive or less expensive internationally, because I'm not the one paying it necessarily. And the only products I ever sell internationally are like one-offs. Like, here's a rare band T-shirt from 30 years ago. And if they want it, they want it. I think a lot of resellers get caught into the mindset where they think they have to lower their price to get sales. And in some cases that is true. And flooded niches, like, like when if you're to sell sports cards, for example, some sports cards or some years, some brands, the market's flooded, so you got to lower your price. But if you have good products, you should just price high and make the buyer pay the extra international shipping. So is it worth it? If it brings in more buyers, I guess yes. Technically it is worth it. But I think in terms of like using your time to think about new revenue streams and ways to make more money, I don't think ideating on eBay international shipping options is necessarily going to be the best use of your time. More so, you should focus on finding products that will sell regardless of the shipping options.
Yeah, I use global shipping program as well. So, just focus much more on listing more items and getting more inventory in your store and making more sales and not worry about where it's being shipped to. Let the post office handle that. We got a question from Backroad Bidder Chuck. He says, do you do Dollar Tree retail arbitrage on eBay or only on Amazon? You sell 90% on Amazon, right?
More than, I say 90% just because that's an easy number. But like in terms of like revenue, it is like 98% Amazon. I do not make a lot of money off eBay. I just do it more for fun and just to remove stuff and, just to stay aware of trends, in the market. And so right. For the Dollar Tree retail arbitrage videos, the initial ones specifically were for Amazon FBA. As the audience grew and as I realized, oh shit, people want to learn about this stuff, I began making ones for eBay, ones for anywhere you can. And so the only thing I source at Dollar Trees is going to be DVDs. I'm no longer sourcing the products I make in the videos to sell on my own, just because that's not how my business is set up. And the point of those videos is not to like, hey, here's the secret to $1,000 a month. It's like, hey, here's how you do this. Here's how you start. And so I am not selling like the Christmas products that I sourced for my Christmas Dollar Tree video. I sold those in a lot at a local auction because I'm not in the business of making $4 per merchant fulfilled transaction. My minimum for that is like $25 or $50, depending on how hard it is to ship out. So I am not specifically, me as a person, selling those things, but the way I format the videos to make a reproducible process that's profitable, depending on the video, could be either eBay or Amazon. And one of the things I say in the eBay videos is most likely the best way to make $100 a month off this is to sell things either FBA or in bundles on eBay. And of course you can bundle on Amazon, but that's a whole different conversation. But just because there are so many more people selling on eBay, you have a lot of like race to the bottom behavior. And a way to avoid being lumped into that is by bundling things up, because you can have broader keywords, you're going to have different pictures, and you're going to have less competition on your individual products. So that's how I answer the question.
All right, Blake. So most of my audience is mainly just sells on eBay only. Could you explain to them why they should go ahead and open up an Amazon account and why that would be a good like use of their time, or maybe branch out if someone wanted to get started in reselling, maybe they didn't know how to get started, or they don't know if it's even a good idea because they hear about there's so much competition and there's all these fees on Amazon. Could you explain why someone should get started reselling on Amazon's platform?
You can make more money. That's the short answer. So I tell people all the time, you're not optimizing your business to pay as few fees as possible. You're optimizing your business to make as much profit as possible. And so even though on like an FBA book, I might be paying 80% in fees, I'm still making $3, and that's more than I could make on eBay. And I would never sell on eBay in the first place for that low of a profit amount. But just like it's a different mentality. Like I said earlier in this live stream, you're automating fulfillment. So you can source a lot lower value items without, you're going to spend a minute and a half labeling it and shipping it out to Amazon, if that. And even a dollar, a book at a minute and a half per book, you're still making like, what is that? I don't know, 22 bucks an hour, something like that. It's it's an easy way to start making reliable income. I know it's tricky. I know that it's like not the easiest thing in the world to get all your paperwork right and to have your credit card on and to have it all set up. But there are so many more people who shop on Amazon than there are eBay. It's not even close. You're limiting yourself to probably a third of the potential sales you could be making. For if you're someone like me who does not like listing on eBay, Amazon is. You don't take pictures. You just scan the barcode, put a sticker on there, ship it off to the warehouse. It's just a huge time saver, I'd say.
Yeah, so you're saying the sales velocity on Amazon is way higher. You're putting your products in front of more eyeballs, and there's more buyers on that platform. Is what you're saying, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hi to Broom Reseller, says evening from the UK. Hey, eBay addicts. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out. We got Wendy here in the chat. Simply Dana is here. Mel from Back from Burnout is here all the way from Australia. We got American Made here, and Chuck from Backroad Bitter, and Clay's Closet is here, and Hollywood Reseller. So I wanted to ask you a question, man. So if somebody, hey, look who it is. Bearded Picker is here. So he says Amazon is dead. Stay on eBay. Hey, Bearded Picker, man, thank you for coming by, man. I sent you a message on Instagram, and I hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year's, man. I tried to stop by and catch your live stream the other day. And Mel, Back from Burnout, says, great interview. I appreciate your interviews, Jeff. So thank you. Yeah, I don't have a bell to ring like Walter does, but go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't have a bell on me. So we have Hollywood Reseller says, can I get your thoughts on Poshmark and Macari?
I do not sell on Poshmark, so I can't talk about that. But I love Macari. I think for beginners, Macari is awesome because there's all you have to have is a phone. You know, you can do if you really want to, you can do like the UPS shipping option. Macari is really easy. My girlfriend uses it when she sells things. She's not like a reseller at all by any means. She's just a regular person who has a job who likes to sell makeup sometimes. And so I think Macari makes just making money online so much easier for the average individual. I think Bearded Picker just wants all that Amazon money for himself.
Yeah. The other day, I think he said he had like 200 packages he was shipping out in one day. So he's been super busy. We got Simply Dana in the chat. She says, nice to meet you, Walter. We got Shamrock Pixie says, stopping by to wish everyone an amazing day. And and Hollywood Reseller says, Bearded Picker convinced me to try Amazon FBA. That's funny. So Walter, tell me, give me your thoughts. Like, what are some of your goals you have this year for 2021? I know you said you were looking at maybe buying a house. Can you kind of tell people maybe 2 or 3 goals or 3 projects that you yourself are working on this year for 2021?
So the goal is to buy either a house with a big building on the back of it where I can work out of. So I'm not paying. I'm paying so much money in rent where I live because we're renting where we live now. And this building, my girlfriend just got her master's degree. So all through that, we were renting and just paying into that and all that nonsense that you have to do when you're trying to better yourself and whatnot. But finally ready to like make the financial investment in some sort of long-term, home to live in. And it just makes sense to have a barn outbuilding type shed somewhere on the property. So I'm not paying over $1,000 a month, because it would be essentially this same thing. This is just a square with a roof on it, nothing too fancy. And so that's a huge goal, is to have that and just to stop giving other people money to use their stuff, and start giving it to the bank. Beyond that, I hope that we get season 2 of the TV show. I'm working on private labeling. I think I'm going to do hemp extract, which is like CBD oils. I found a manufacturer in Michigan that I like, and working on some terms for that. I want to focus more on content that's like, here's your own website. Because I don't know, I'm getting kind of sick of eBay. I'm getting kind of sick of Amazon. The trends that we're seeing are not good trends in terms of just like small sellers and what they can do. And how, you know, like on Amazon and eBay, it seems like it's harder and harder for a small seller to make, you know, to make decent money. And I think that that's going to push a lot of people to have their own, you know, Shopify or there's a million different payment processors, you know, WooCommerce or whatever it is, stores. And so I want to start making more content about just like, let's say you don't want to have an eBay store or an Amazon store. Here's how you can have your own store on your own website. And if you have shitty customers, you can just say, screw you to them. You don't have to worry about bad feedback. You can just act the way you would towards anyone in person. There's not that, you know, looming fear of bad feedback over your head. There's just, you know, being a business. And so those are three big things I want to like really focus on. But, you know, who knows where the year will take me? What about you? What are you going to be focusing on in 2021?
I'm going to be working on my eBay store. I got about 5,200 items in my main eBay store. I'm trying to grow it to 10,000 items right now. And I've been dealing with a lot of media items because if you have the basic store subscription, which is like $21 a month, they give you 10,000 free listings in select categories. So the items that I have in select categories are VHS tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, video games, CDs, things like that are in those select categories. So I can pay zero insertion fees. So basically I can have 10,000 items in a store for $21 a month. And so that's what I'm trying to do is grow my YouTube channel. I have about 2,500 subscribers. I would like to grow that to 5,000. I would like to get 10,000 items in my main eBay store and, you know, and focus more on that. And I'm going to be starting a podcast with Rise and Grind Picker starting sometime this year. So we're working the kinks out on that. So, yeah, we'll probably see me again down the road here soon. Like I said, those are 3 projects off the top of my head I'm going to work on. So last year, 2020, already got out of debt. So I have no student loans, no car payments, no credit card bills, none of that stuff. And like I said, my overhead expenses is $350 a month. So that includes water, trash, you know, everything else. And then I pay, you know, my light bill. So that's it. So that's what I've been trying to focus on last year is reducing my expenses. So anyways, I wanted to ask you a question. Were you joking the other day when you said you wanted to start a Christmas tree farm, or is that a real thing?
Oh, I'm serious. So
okay.
The way that you can just build, the zoning laws are kind of shitty sometimes, and you can't just buy land and put a building on it and do what you want. There's laws against that. But what you can do is build a tree farm and have a pole barn for your tree farm because you need one for all the stuff. And then, it's so big, I'll just keep my eBay stuff here too. I also think that Christmas trees would be a good, you know, it's very little work. In regards, you know, in relation to other ways to make money farming, I would say a tree farm is the easiest way. It'd be nice to have a place to go to. If it's going to happen, I have no idea. You know, it would take a certain line of events to just line up in the right order for that to make sense. But it's an idea that I like. And if anybody wants to make a Christmas tree farm in their area, I think that it's a good business model. I think that Christmas trees are going to be very expensive in, you know, 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's true. Last year, they were all sold out everywhere. Even if you went to the Goodwill, used Christmas trees were selling for $200 for like fake Christmas trees. They weren't even real. They were used fake Christmas trees at the Goodwill, $200 for one of the ones, you know, with the little metal wiring racks where you had to put them together. So
crazy. And people were buying them probably.
Yeah, well, they were sold out everywhere. Yeah. So Walter, we've had you on the show for about an hour. We greatly appreciate you taking time to come by and hang out with me today. But before I let you go, I need to ask you an important question. Do you have any suggestions or recommendations to our viewers? And you have any recommendations to me to help me out? Because I'm a small content creator. I don't think I'm ever going to get 100,000 subscribers like you or Harry Tornado, but I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. But if somebody is a content creator or they're a reseller, do you have any parting wisdom or parting advice to give them?
How long have you been doing this on YouTube? How long?
About a year.
Well, you'll get to 100,000 then. It might take you 5 years. But
that's nice of you to say, but I don't think that'll be the case.
It's if you keep creating content and that content brings in new people, which it is because your views are going up on the videos. I looked at your channel. That's going to continue. It might take some time, but it's about just sticking to a plan and doing it over and over and over and over again, and not getting discouraged by anything at all. Because at the end of the day, if you do something for 5 years, you're going to be good at it. I don't care what it is, you're going to be good at it. So my advice is just, do what I said earlier in the video. Make those easy. Here's what sells on eBay. Here's how to sell Guitar Hero guitars. Just shit like that everyone does, that I did, that everyone should do if they want to get those easy, low-hanging subscribers. And then when you find the thing that you enjoy, that other people enjoy, just figure out what that is and just stick to it. Just do it for years and years and years and years. And one of these days, you're going to look at your YouTube Studio app and go, whoa, like, how did I get so many views yesterday? And it's going to be from some random video you made about, I don't know, selling SpongeBob SquarePants underwear. And then all of a sudden, you're the underwear guy on YouTube. That's a bad person to be. But, I mean, that's how it happens.
Right. So you're saying just don't give up and keep working at it. And then over time, you're going to get better at it. And if you just stick to one thing, not jump around from one thing to another, just stick to one thing and grind at that one thing and work at it over a long period of time, you're going to grow, right?
I mean, even the one thing can be like a general idea. So you could stop doing interviews and you could start doing videos about other things related to resale. And as long as it's still like resale, money-making oriented, that consistency is still going to be there. It's just like, make sure that, so go. Do you use the YouTube Studio app at all?
Yeah. So
go into the Discovery tab and see what search terms are being searched for on your videos. And whatever generic, like for me, my top search term is retail arbitrage. Whatever it is, just keep doing more videos that are like that people who are searching for that topic. And if it's someone's name, let's say the top search term is Ray's the Entrepreneur, make a video that's like how Ray's makes a YouTube video, and just like stuff like that. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing over and over again, but it has to be consistently interesting to a large group of people. And the easiest way you can tell that is by looking at videos that have a lot of views. It's not as the biggest thing is just don't stop doing it. Don't stop making YouTube videos, and eventually something's going to stick.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, man, it's been an hour of hanging out with you today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today, Blake, man. And I feel like we're a kindred spirit. We have a lot of things in common. Believe it or not, I actually do shop at the Dollar Tree, and I'm probably one of the 5% of people that actually watch your videos and actually go out and execute. Even if you screw up sometimes, it's okay. At least you're taking action. So hey, thanks for hanging out with me, Blake. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you at on Instagram and YouTube. I have your links down below. Tell them where they can find you at.
My Instagram is WB Knoblock, and my last name is spelled Knoblock. And then my YouTube channel is my full name, Walter Blake Knoblock. But if you type in WBK Ultra, or that's like the Facebook group name, you should find my videos. Or just type in Dollar Tree DVDs on YouTube, and you'll find my stupid face talking about when I bought 1,000 of them. That's how you can find me.
Got it. All right, guys. I have his links in the description below for his YouTube channel and his Instagram. So thank you for hanging out with me, man. Hopefully I'll get to see you again soon. Have a